Good afternoon, everyone. This is 5 of Clubs, and welcome to episode 2 of Simpleton Solos, a series in which a Simpleton plays one of his favorite superhero games. In the previous episode, the sinister Baron Blade traveled back in time to the late 1800s in an effort to pull the moon into the Earth before the modern-day heroes could stop him. Thankfully, the hero trio of Legacy, Bunker, and Absolute Zero met him in the Wild West tumbleweed town of Silver Gulch and foiled his cataclysmic pursuit. The lawman Sheriff Pratt lent his hand to the heroes, as did a set of unlikely allies, the dastardly Hayes brothers. Perhaps they may become heroes themselves in time, after the adulations they received from the thankful populace of Silver Gulch for their bravery against Baron Blade. Before the heroes dipped back to the future, a new ally accompanied them on their trip through the timeline. A former lawman of Silver Gulch, Jim Brooks now serves as the Sheriff of Time itself, the Chrono Ranger. He responds to bounties all across time put forth by Khan, a supercomputer-powered entity from the future who is working to maintain the integrity of the timeline and prevent the apocalyptic events that rendered a future of ruin. In doing so, there will be vast potential for overlap between his pursuits and those of the modern-day heroes. In short, he'll be playable going forward. Yippee! Furthermore, the heroes return to the modern day in time to be greeted by a new hero, the new standard Benchmark. Benchmark is both a superhero and a mascot for the Revo Corp business conglomerate, prattling PR-produced marketing slogans while saving the day at the same time. He's a man outfitted with biotechnological augmentation, making him into a literal living computer. He seems an alright fellow, but I'm a little suspicious about the threat potential of a greedy corporation with a human weapon as its mascot. Legacy will have to rest for a time. The Baron really let him have it in the recent encounter. Just as his head hit the pillow in the medbay, Chrono Ranger received a new time bounty from Khan, one that requested emergency recall to Khan's location in the future, the final wasteland. Chrono Ranger had to go, but the heroes couldn't let him go alone. And so, a new team sets out to the desolate future to face off against their next threat, Citizen Dawn. We'd better let Sheriff Brooks know what he's up against here. Citizen Dawn is a superhuman supremacist, only deigning to dignify value to people who have supernatural abilities. She did not always disdain humans. Her disgust with mankind was fostered through her childhood of experimentation and abuse, causing her to eventually recede from society and start her own civilization of superpowered individuals. Now, Citizen Dawn heads a nation of fellow citizens, who bear open hostility for the people who have wronged and persecuted them. As far as her powers are concerned, she stores and outputs the power of the sun.
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
Both light and heat, to dangerous degrees in both regards. Let's take a peek at the campaign sheet to see how our progress has been and how much further we have to go. And here we are at the campaign sheet for the Sentinels of the Multiverse Newslock campaign I am running. As you can see, I have updated the Baron Blade and Silver Gulch entries with green highlights, meaning that we have successfully completed those, and we have unlocked the rewards Benchmark and Chrono Ranger respectively. Indeed. And moving along, or I guess just to give you a quick overview, I suppose, the X's here in the precursor boxes indicate unlocked and accessible content. So, essentially, any of these are accessible at the time being, and all the stages are accessible from the get-go. However, that's because a large majority of them unlock either villains or heroes that you're able to access going forward. Very good. So those will be sort of a bing, 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 bing pinball sort of unlock system going forward there. And I've tried to integrate as well as I could with the story. And indeed, the heroes here, I've already marked that the Wraith and Chrono Ranger and Benchmark, who all have X's in their precursors, you can see, are going out on the next adventure. And the X's for Legacy, Bunker, and Absolute Zero indicate what they have done before. So Bunker and Absolute Zero will have rested for one battle, meaning that they will be rested and ready to go. You can, however, push. Like, let's say on the next battle, I wanted to take the Wraith out also. Well, you could do that, but that would give her 2 X's, meaning she has to rest for 2 consecutive battles to recover. Legacy, because of how badly he got walloped, is going to have to rest for 2 consecutive battles already, even though he only participated in 1. So that's just because of the fact that he got beaten so hard. Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and without further ado dive into today's exciting gameplay. Let's go. Alright, everyone, let's go ahead and build our battle. We do not want to play the tutorial. We know what we're doing. So here we are with Citizen Dawn. Indeed, she has 80 health points. She is the leader of the Citizens of the Sun. At the start of the game, she enters play with the leaders of the Citizens of the Sun side up, so she's going to start on this side. You remember last time Baron Blade had a backside to his character card that revealed him in sort of a robot suit. Citizen Dawn has a different way that her flipping mechanic works, so to speak, and we'll get into that later. Cards are revealed from the top of the villain deck until H-1 citizens are revealed and put into play. So in this case, we're going to be playing the number of heroes as 3, so H-1 is going to be 2. And then other revealed cards are shuffled back in the deck, and then, of course, what she's essentially going to do is really not do a whole lot of anything. She's going to kind of put out citizens and heal them and stuff like that. And she mostly wants to empower them as far as she's concerned. But if you take down too many of her citizens, that's when she flips and she gets a bit serious. Because she wants to enact retributions upon you. So, alright, let's get our heroes. We have the Wraith. Where is she? Here she is. Alright, we'll put her in. Then, let us get Chrono Ranger. Here he is. There we are. Look at that guy, huh? I love the clock in the background, too. I really like cowboy characters just generally, so he was a big fan favorite of mine. And Benchmark, there he is. As you can see, he's got the Riva Corp logo there. You may not know that already, but here you go. Riva Corp presents Benchmark, the new standard. Indeed. Alright. And then for the environment, as we mentioned earlier, we are going to the final wasteland. And let us fight. So we're going way into the future where the Earth has been overrun by these crazy creatures. What Citizen Dawn is doing up here in the future, we do not know. But let's dive right into it. Okay, she got Citizen Tears in play first, who's sort of a zombie-looking individual here. At the end of the villain turn, each player discards 1 card. Okay, so that's going to happen. So we're going to be working with 3 cards apiece. That's unfortunate. If Citizen Sweat is in play, each player discards 1 more card. If Citizen Blood is in play, this card deals each hero melee damage equal to the number of cards discarded by their players this turn. So 1 if there's not a Citizen Sweat, and 2 if there is. So as you can see, some of the citizens are in little teams, right? So we got Blood, Sweat, and Tears. The more of them that are in play together, the more extra effects they're going to trigger for each other. So she only has 5 health, though, so we should be able to tear through her pretty quick. And we have a Citizen Battery, who has 7 health. At the end of the villain turn, this card deals the hero target with the highest HP 3 energy damage. If Citizen Assault, see, get it for Assault and Battery, is in play, increased damage dealt by Citizen Battery by 2. Thankfully, we don't see Citizen Assault yet, so he's only going to be hitting someone for 3 damage, but if we did see Citizen Assault in play, he'd be hitting someone for 5. Alright. We have a Blinding Blast. This is Citizen Dawn taking action here. Citizen Dawn deals each hero target 2 energy damage, and then each player discards 2 cards. Oh my goodness. So on top of Citizen Sweat taking 1 card, she's going to take 2 more cards. We're only going to have 1 card apiece. Oh my goodness, this is not good. Alright, now we have to pick which cards to get rid of. Alright, I guess I'll get rid of that one. I love this card, but I guess I'll get rid of it. And then let's get rid of... You know what? I'm going to keep this one, hoping that it'll be able to help him rebuild his hand. Because as you can see, the way that Chrono Ranger works is he does bounties across time, so he can assign bounty cards to enemy targets. You play this next to a non-hero target. When that target leaves play, draw 3 cards and destroy this card. So that can help him get his cards back. And his other bounties do various other things. And of course he has various little time tools and attacks with his, as you can see, his... tech arm here. So I guess the first card I'll discard is gonna unfortunately be that one, and then the Temporal Grenade, even though I love it. Alright, Benchmark, we have 2 hardware and software cards. So yes, Benchmark being a living computer, so to speak, he has 2 different types of cards aside from one-shots. He has hardware cards that you play, and they tend to do something small or something neat. So this one here, first time a software card enters play each turn, Benchmark deals up to 2 targets 2 cold damage each. You may use an additional power during the power phase. This is a really good one. And then software cards are ongoing cards, as you can see. And they tend to give you new powers or new abilities, but they need to be installed onto hardware. So if you try to put software cards in play without hardware to accommodate it, he ends up having like a RAM or memory crash, and he ends up having to get rid of some of his software. So it's sort of a balance in that regard. So benchmark, discard the first card. Okay, I suppose I will. Let's get rid of that software and this software. Citizen Dawn gets to deal one person 1 damage at the end of the turn. That's really not very much at all. Alright, time to discard more cards. There we go. There's 1. There is 2. And I'm going to keep this one. I really like that hardware. Alright, and then Citizen Battery hit Benchmark because Benchmark had the highest health. Okay. So, in this game, what you can do to rebuild your hand, sort of, or at least to get more cards in it, is you are able to skip your play phase and your power phase, and then you'll be able to draw 2 cards. So, similar to how Bunker was able to build up cards in his upgrade mode in the last episode, normally people can just skip basically their entire turn to get 2 more cards, and I think that's what we're going to have to do here. So we actually have some options. Okay, there's something. Okay, alright, 2 utility belts. Okay. I think I'm actually going to do the same thing with this guy. Here we are. Get some more tools here. Very good. And, of course, lastly, we'll do this. So, it's unfortunate. We essentially lost the first whole round because of that ridiculous issue there. Oh, we have an Abominable Snowman. So here we are. He has 9 health. He is immune to cold damage. At the start of the environment turn, this card deals the non-environment target with the second lowest HP 2 cold damage and 2 melee damage. Right now, the second lowest HP belongs to Citizen Battery, so I think he's actually going to attack Citizen Battery at the start of his next turn. Oh, good. Oh, crap. Alright. Well, here we go. So before we resolve that, Citizen Hammer just came into play. Fun fact about Citizen Hammer, his character model is actually, his character design is actually reminiscent of one of the 2 creators of the game. This case, it would be Adam from the Christopher and Adam team from the Letters Page podcast. So he is sort of looks like a fantasy version of Adam, and then Citizen Anvil, Hammer and Anvil go together, of course. Tends to actually look like Christopher is modeled after him. So I think that's a neat little Easter egg. At the end of the villain turn, this card deals each hero target 3 fire damage. My goodness. 3 fire damage apiece. And we have to discard more cards because Citizen Sweat is still around. Darn you, Citizen Sweat. And I think I will get rid of Overhaul Loadout. Alright, so we are now tied for the highest HP hero target, so I could send it to Chrono Ranger or Benchmark. I know Benchmark has access to healing cards, so I'm going to let him take the hit. And then, of course, we're all going to take 3 fire damage, thanks to Citizen Hammer's end-of-turn effect. Ugh. Okay, and actually, this Abominable Snowman, now that this guy came out, the second lowest HP target in play is Citizen Tears, so he's actually going to deal 2 cold damage and 2 melee damage. So really, if we just deal 1 measly point of damage to Citizen Tears, he's going to take care of the rest, which is pretty cool. I'm going to put the infrared eyepiece in play. So this is one of her gadgets here. It gives you a new power. Reveal the top 2 cards of the villain deck. Put one on top of the villain deck and the other on bottom. Then draw a card. So let's go ahead and utilize that ability and see what's coming next. So either we could get Citizen Spring. At the end of the villain turn, each citizen regains 1 health point. Or we can get Citizen Assault, who we know will buff Citizen Battery. I don't think we want him in play at all. No siree. So we're going to put Citizen Spring on top and set the other one to the bottom. And, of course, we got to draw our card. And then at the end of the turn, we draw a card. So there we go. She's got 3 cards to work with. I have an idea. So I'm going to play this bounty right here on to Citizen Tears. Let's see, there she is, okay. And then, because I know my power here, it's not very useful by itself. Chrono Ranger deals 1 target, 1 projectile damage. But 1 damage on here will bring her to 4, and then the Abominable Snowman will deal 2 cold and 2 melee damage to it, bringing that target down to 0, killing it, and then activating the bounty bonus. So let's go ahead and give a shot here. There we go. Pew, pew, pew. Alright. Ooh, good card. Very good. I think we're going to use deployment actuation. As you can see, it's like his suit is building onto him in midair, which is pretty cool. Reveal cards on the top of your deck until a hardware card is revealed. Put it into play and discard the other revealed cards. You may move a hardware or software card from your trash to your hand. And we did put a bunch of those things in the trash, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright, looks like we got the upgraded memory unit. Increase HP recovery by benchmark by 1. So whenever he would heal any amount of health back, he's going to get 1 more, which is pretty cool. At the end of your turn, if you have 5 or fewer cards in hand, draw a card. If you do not draw a card this way, you may play a software card. So good. So he's going to help us build our hand back up now that it's been destroyed. And of course, we get to put one of the software or hardware cards in play. Let's see. We could do... We don't have any hardware in play yet. So maybe we should put a hardware out first. Because we don't want to put a... Oh, I guess we did have that one hardware. But this one ends up being pretty good. So this is a secondary cannon. Whenever Benchmark uses a power, you may discard a card. If you do, Benchmark deals 1 target, 1 projectile damage. Now, you might not think 1 projectile damage is very much, but once you see what his other hardware and software do, you realize he can actually buff that damage, and he can become quite a force of reckoning. So, let's use his power here, which is draw a card, and he deals 1 target, 1 energy damage. There's the card draw, and let's go ahead and hit Citizen Hammer. We don't like him. Nope, he's trouble. He's definitely trouble. Alright, the Abominable Snowman's gonna hurt Citizen Tears. Thank you, Abominable Snowman, which, like I said, triggers the kill on sight, which is gonna let us draw 3 cards for Chrono Ranger. Very good. And kill on sight goes to the trash. Okay. We have an Amphibious Chupacabra, who actually, I think, let me just take a look. At the end of the environment turn, this card deals the non-environment target with the lowest HP 2 melee damage. Excellent. So, funny enough, he was able to take out Citizen Hammer, the other one I was really worried about. Or was that Hammer or Anvil? Sorry, hold on. Yeah, Citizen Hammer. So, instead of us all taking another 3 damage at the end of the turn, we are not going to do that. Thank you, Environment. You're really pulling through for us. Alright, and of course, he's going to slash one of our friends. I say, let's have the Wraith take it, because the Wraith also has healing cards. And Citizen Spring would heal everyone, but everyone who's remaining is still at full health. So we're not too worried about that. She only heals them for 1 health point, which isn't that much, frankly. Okay. I'm going to use the Utility Belt because I now have 2 abilities to have powers here. And this Utility Belt allows me to utilize an additional power during my power phase. So I'll get to do both of these. Let's start here by looking at what the next 2 cards are for Citizen Dawn. We have Luminous Leadership. It's an ongoing card. At the start of the villain turn, each citizen regains 1 health point. Or we have Citizen Autumn. At the end of the villain turn, destroy all ongoing cards controlled by the hero with the lowest health. That sounds terrible. Let's go ahead and leave Luminous Leadership on top, because we have cards that could destroy ongoing cards later anyway. So, I'm not too worried about that. And we'll utilize her innate power, which is reduce the next damage that would be dealt to the Wraith by 2. So she gives herself a damage reduction. Very good. Alrighty. Oh my goodness, look at that. We have all 3 copies of Eye on the Prize right here, don't we?
Whoa, 3 aces!
Eye on the Prize allows you to deal 1 projectile damage to a target, then draw a card, then play a card. Let's do that to get some more options around. Who should we shoot? We could shoot Citizen Dawn. I don't like Battery, though. Let's go ahead and shoot him. He hits kind of hard. Alright, this is Hunter and Hunted. It's ongoing, and it increases damage dealt to and by Chrono Ranger by the number of bounty cards in play, and then as a power, you could destroy this card. Currently, we don't have any bounties in play, so this would be useless to us right now, but surely we'll find some more. Let's play this other version of this card to deal a projectile damage, draw a card, and play a card. So we'll shoot our friend here. Here we go. Righto. And then we will use this one also, I guess. Why not? Here we are. Ah, okay, so we actually got 2 of the greatest cards, in my opinion. Displaced Armory. Search your deck or trash for an equipment card and put it into play. If you searched your deck, shuffle it. Chrono Ranger may deal a target of projectile damage. I'm going to start with that one. I'm going to search his deck because I'm going to get his Jim's Hat card. This is an equipment card. You may play an additional card during your play phase. At the start of your turn, you may destroy a bounty card. Let's put this in play. We're going to deal 1 more damage over here. There we go. And then I'm going to utilize Sudden Contract. Search your deck for a bounty card and put it into play. Shuffle your deck, then Chrono Ranger may deal a target 1 projectile damage. So we don't have any bounties in play, but we want them in play. So here are the other 5 bounties I can pick from. This one tends to be my favorite by any means. Play this card next to a non-hero target. Increase damage dealt to that target by 1. When that target leaves play, destroy this card. You can put this next to the boss themselves. So I'm going to put this right next to Citizen Dawn, meaning everyone gets +1 damage dealt to Citizen Dawn. And I'm going to go ahead and deal 1 more damage here. There we are. And now, with my power that deals 1 projectile damage, not very useful, against Citizen Dawn, because of that bounty, it now deals 2. So let's go ahead and deal 2 damage to Citizen Dawn. Alright. Oh, we got another Eye on the Prize card. I think there's only 4 copies in the deck, so we've seen all the ones that we're going to see. Now, the beautiful thing, given that Citizen Battery is at 2 health points, Citizen Battery is now the non-environment target with the lowest damage, meaning the amphibious Chupacabra is just going to punch him and finish him off for us. Thank you, Chupacabra. Then, Citizen Spring is going to get attacked, I think, by the Abominable Snowman because he's going to activate first, meaning that the target with the second lowest HP is Citizen Spring. So she's going to take 4 damage, but then she's going to heal herself for 1, and Luminous Leadership in this deck is going to heal her for another 1. We kind of want to leave her alive because, remember, when we get a certain number of citizens in this trash, she's going to flip to her angry side, and we kind of want to not deal with that right now. Usually I try my best not to actually have her flip to that side at all, if I can help it. So the key to doing that is finding the citizens that don't do very much, like this one, and hanging on to that person, basically. So, alrighty. Looking at benchmark here, we have another deployment actuation, so we could get some more hardware cards and software cards in our hand. I don't think we'll need to do that. Let's put the onboard cooling system in play. Then we'll use our power, draw a card, and then deal 1 damage to someone, which, if we deal it to Citizen Dawn, thanks to the by any means bounty, is going to be 2 damage. There we go. Alright, we draw a card. And then, it looks like we are able to drag a card up to play. So we could play a software card thanks to our upgraded memory unit. Because we have 5, or more than 5 cards in hand, we could play a software card. We have 2 hardwares in play, so I think that's a great idea. The 2 options we have are the Intervening Path Calculator. Whenever the hero with the lowest HP would be dealt damage, you may redirect the damage to benchmark. At the start of your turn, if you have more software than hardware in play, draw a card and then destroy 2 software cards. So that's when he does his memory crash. And we also have the multi-point HUD, heads-up display. At the start of your turn, if you have more software than hardware in play, draw a card and destroy 2 software cards. Okay, that happens. That's listed on every software card. It gives us a new power, though. Increase damage dealt by benchmark this turn by 1. Which, as you remember, you may use an additional power during your power phase now, thanks to the onboard cooling system. So, we might activate this first to boost our damage, and then use this power, or potentially other powers to come. Let's go ahead and put that up there. Because a software card came into play, Benchmark's going to deal up to 2 targets 2 cold damage apiece. The first target, let's hit Citizen Dawn, which is 3 damage thanks to the bounty. And then let's hit the amphibious Chupacabra here for 2 damage. Alright. Alright, so the Abominable Snowman, as we thought, is hitting Citizen Spring, bringing her to 2 health. A new card came into play. The Chupacabra it's actually tied between these 2 now. But I don't want him destroying Citizen Spring because she's one of the least of the troubles that we have to face. So I'm going to let him finish off Citizen Battery for us. Thank you. Alright, and then the Rat Beast. Let's see. Okay. So something interesting happened there. I'll explain it real quick. Yes, we already know Luminous Leadership is out. She's going to deal someone a damage. Citizen Spring's going to get heal herself 1, and then Luminous Leadership's going to heal her 1. But back to the Rat Beast for just a second. You may notice that this icon is here by the name, and whereas the other ones don't have icons. That means that this is one of the few environment targets that has its own nemesis, which is not very common in the game. And the nemesis, you remember, means that the hero deals that person extra damage, and the villain deals their nemesis extra damage. So right now, you can see this icon right here. That actually is Chrono Ranger's icon. So he actually attacked Chrono Ranger and got bonus damage. Chrono Ranger just happened to be the non-environment target with the second highest HP. But if Chrono Ranger then decides to shoot at this Rat Beast, he will also get the +1 damage since it's a nemesis. Now, as for why it's a nemesis, you might have to listen to the letters page to figure out, or look at some of his card art. You will notice that he has a villain that tends to show up various times in his card arts that happens to look like a giant rat beast, so to speak. Mysterious.
Rodents of unusual size? I don't think they exist.
Alright, it's our turns here. Ah, yes, one of my favorite cards for her, Impromptu Invention. As you can see, she has outfitted something that looks like a hairdryer, and even she's looking skeptically at it. One shot, draw a card, search your deck for an equipment card, and either put it into play or your hand. Shuffle your deck, then you may play a card. Honestly, I think this card is a little bit too good. But, alright, so we drew our card. Now we get to pick an equipment card from our deck. We already have a utility belt out, so we really don't want that. We already have an infrared eyepiece out, so we don't want that. So the rest of this stuff is fair game. I think I'm going to pick the Razor Ordnance ability, which gives me a new power. The Wraith deals 1 target, 3 projectile damage. We'll put that in play. And then we get to play a card also, and I'm going to play the Micro-Targeting Computer, which increases my projectile damage by 2. So this 3 now becomes a 5 damage wallop. My goodness. And we get to use 2 powers thanks to utility belt. So 5 damage is going somewhere. I could put it here and make it 6 damage. Or I could finish off the Chupacabra. Not too worried about the Chupacabra, though. The Chupacabra would hit Citizen Spring, which I'm not too terrified of. Let's go ahead and hit Citizen Dawn for that 6 damage. There you go. And then let's use the infrared eyepiece to look at what's coming next. Oh my. This person is... actually, he's not so bad. Okay, I thought this was Citizen Truth. This is Citizen Dare. Increased damage dealt 2 hero targets by 1. So whenever anything deals damage to hero targets, whether that's environment stuff or the villains, they get their damage increased by 1. When Citizen Truth enters play, deal each hero target 1 irreducible psychic damage and destroy this card. Citizen Dare cannot be one of the initial starts of the game. Whereas Citizen Sweat over here is sort of like Citizen Tears that we saw, but she destroys ongoing cards from in play, which we really don't want her doing that. So I'm going to take Citizen Dare. He only has 3 health points. He's not too tough to deal with, and he only does something if Citizen Truth really comes out. And we could just, I don't know, punch him in the face if we want to. Alright, then we drew a card for that and a draw card for the end of the turn. Now we are able to destroy a bounty card to put it into the trash. Other cards of mine allow me to dig bounties up from the trash and assign them to new targets. So that might be a way to get a card off of one target and put it onto another if you change your mind. But I'm going to leave it right where it is because we want that on Citizen Dawn. So we are not going to destroy that. Alright. Looking here, let's go ahead and use Eye on the Prize. We'll deal 1 damage to a target, which is 2 to Citizen Dawn. There we go. We got a new card. Just doing my job. Yes, indeed. Each player may discard 1 card. If will draw X cards, where X is the number of cards discarded this way, and then he deals 1 target, 1 projectile damage, as he is keen to do. I think I'm actually going to play the Compounded Bow, though. Oh, right, I get to play a second card because of the Jim's hat gear here. Sure. Let's do just doing my job. So, basically, when my friends discard cards, then I get to draw cards. So, that helps me find some of the better stuff. I think for her, I'm going to get rid of Inventory Bureau. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get rid of Trust Fund. There we go. Alright, I may get rid of a card myself. I don't think I'm going to need another copy of that. So I'm going to discard that. And then he has 5 cards I can discard from. Let's discard Overhaul Loadout. All right, got one card, got two cards, got three cards. Ooh, another bounty, in fact. This one's called No Executions Wanted, and you may recognize this fellow here. The person that I believe is depicted is Baron Blade, who we fought in the last episode. All right, this is a bounty card. Play this card next to a non-character target. Non-character targets means, like, not a villain and not a hero. So basically, it could be an environment, one of these little environment baddies, or one of the citizens. When that target would be destroyed, it is put on the bottom of the deck instead. Then destroy this card. Normally, destroyed cards go into the trash, as you may recall. But sometimes villains will have little effects that pull cards out of the trash. So if there's one that you really don't want them pulling back out of the trash later, you might decide to use this No Executions bounty to bury it under the deck instead. So, pretty interesting effect. Now, I get to do 1 damage to something. I'm going to do it here because it's going to be 2 damage to Citizen Dawn. There we go. Alright, and I have 2 powers now. This power here allows me to deal 1 target, 1 projectile damage, but Compound Bow allows me to deal 1 target, 1 projectile damage, and 1 damage type of your choice. So, normally you'd think, okay, that's 2 damage, but since that's 2 separate instances of damage of 1, so it's 1 damage projectile, and then 1 damage of, I don't know, let's say fire or something. That's technically 1 point of damage that gets the benefit of this by any means card, and then another bit that also gets that again. So really, I'm going to be dealing 4 damage if I deal it both to Citizen Dawn. There we go, and let's do, I don't know, cold damage. How do you like that? There you go. So what would have been just 2 damage is actually 4, thanks to that by any means bounty. Very good. Okay, so we have 2 hardwares and 1 software in play, which is good. I really like this one. Inferno Missile Pod. Oh, the art is pretty cool on it, too. Whenever you discard a card from hand, you may put it under this card. At the end of your turn, destroy all cards under this card. Then Benchmark deals 1 target, 1 fire damage, X times, where X equals the number of cards destroyed. So essentially, every time he has to discard for whatever reason, he can put it under here, so he can build up a little stack of discarded cards, and then he destroys them to deal an equal number. So if there's 3 cards under this, he gets to deal 1 target, 1 fire damage 3 times, which, remember, since that's 3 separate instances of damage, that's going to be 2, 2, and 2, so that's 6 damage to Citizen Dawn. So yeah, let's go ahead and put that in play. And we get to use 2 powers thanks to our onboard cooling system. So let's use this one first. Increase damage dealt by Benchmark this turn by 1. There we go. And let's use this power, which normally does a draw card and 1 energy damage, but it's going to deal 2 at the very least. And to Citizen Dawn would deal 3 because of that bounty. So let's go ahead and give her a wallop. Bam! Okay, and we draw a card. Very good. And we draw a card at the end of our turn. Excellent. Okay. Moving right along. It's the environment's turn. Alright, so unfortunately the second lowest HP is going to be a hero target this time around. We already know she has her active Wraith's Stealth, which means that she reduces the next damage she gets by -2. So she's going to negate the cold damage and only take the melee part. There we go. Oh, got another Abominable Snowman. Alright, Chupacabra is hurting our friend, and then the Rat Beast is going to attack. We don't want him attacking Chrono Ranger because Chrono Ranger would take extra damage. So let's have Benchmark take the hit. There you go. Okay. Alright, they're both going to heal up a little bit, and the next card's coming out, we already know, is Citizen Dare. Okay. Now, Citizen Dare is buffing her damage, so what normally is 1 damage is 2 this time around. Okay. And you know what? Given that we have 2 Abominable Snowmen... If I do 1 point of damage to her, this Abominable Snowman will take care of Citizen Dare for us. If we want him to. Interesting. I'm going to use my grappling hook right now. Destroy 1 ongoing or environment card. You may draw a card. So we're going to go ahead and play that. I think 2 Abominable Snowman is just a bit much. So let's destroy this one. There we go. And it gives me a card. And then 2 powers time. Let's go ahead and look at the next 2 cards of the deck. Pick 1 to put on top and 1 to put on the bottom. So we have Citizen Summer here. At the end of the villain turn, this card deals 2 heroes with the most cards in play, 3 fire damage each. She only has 4 health, though. And we have Return with the Dawn. At the end of the villain turn, shuffle the villain trash, reveal cards from the top until a citizen is revealed. Put it in play. Put the other revealed cards into the villain trash, so she can bring citizens back from the trash. So again, that bounty that we saw earlier, no executions, would come in handy if there was a certain citizen that we didn't want coming back out from the being buried in the trash. So you would be able to put it on the bottom of her deck instead, for example. Okay. In its own weird way, I'm actually going to do this one, because this means that she's going to constantly have, like, at least a guaranteed 1 citizen coming out of the trash all the time. And that means that it's going to further delay her ability to flip to her other side. So we're going to do that. Okay. And then we have 2 choices here. We could give quite the wall up with our Razor Ordnance, or we could reduce damage to ourselves. Let's go ahead and give a wallop here. To whom shall we wallop? Wallop her for 6. I like that. There we go. Alrighty. Moving along to our friend Chrono Ranger. No, we don't want to destroy that excellent bounty. We could assign this bounty to somebody if we wanted to, like Citizen Dare. But I don't know that we want to do that. Let's look at the bounty board. Move all bounty cards from trash into your hand. Chrono Ranger may deal 1 target 1 projectile damage. So that might be a good idea. Or actually, this does basically the similar thing. Select 1 bounty card from the trash and put it into play. We know that we have 1 bounty card in here. We had the kill on sight that gave us those 3 cards. That might be a great idea now. Let's go ahead and put this out. Let's give this to Citizen Dare. And let's deal him 1 point of damage. Maybe. No, we want to deal Citizen Spring the 1 point of damage. That's right. Because we want the Abominable Snowman to kill Citizen Dare for us. And now, once he does, thanks to the bounty, I'm going to get to draw 3 cards, which is Buku Prima. Alright. Looking at the rest of this stuff, this is a pretty cool one. Neurotoxin Dart Thrower. Chrono Ranger deals 1 target 1 toxic damage. Reduce damage dealt by that target by 1 until the start of your next turn. So it's a damage reduction ability, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Sure, let's put that in play. And as for the power, I don't think we were really worried about the damage output of any of these creatures, per se. So let's use the compound bow and deal another 4 damage to our friend Citizen Dawn. And let's do psychic damage for the other 2. Very good. Draw a card. Okay, Ranger's Mark. Very good. Okay, and now we have, this is one of the best software cards. Load on initialization. Look at the loading there. It's a software card. At the start of your turn, you may either draw a card or play a software card. Then, if you have more software than hardware in play, draw a card and destroy 2. You know the drill. So let's go ahead and put that in play. And now that we put that in play, the onboard cooling systems are going to activate, meaning we have to deal some damage. There we go. And let's deal some to the Chupacabra as well. Very good. And we get 2 powers. Let's do this one to buff our damage by 1. And let us use our power to draw a card and deal 2 damage. Let's go ahead and just deal the 2 damage because of the multi-point HUD to the Chupacabra here. There we go. Righto. Excellent. And we get to play a software card should we want. Let's go ahead and put this one in play because we have 3 hardware, 2 software in play, so that won't put us over the limit yet. Alright. So the environment is going to activate. He's going to deal with Citizen Dare for us, which is going to trigger that excellent kill on sight bonus to give me a few cards. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Very good. Alright, we got a horrid Skunk Ape. My goodness. At the end of the environment turn, this card deals each target other than itself 1 melee damage. Okay. We got 2 damage coming some which way. Let's go ahead and put that there. I can redirect it if I want. I don't think I will, though. I'll let her take it, because I know she can reduce damage to herself, and she has healing cards. And everyone is going to take 1 damage, but remember, by any means, it's going to make her take 2. So let's go ahead and see that play out. Alright, do I want to redirect these? No, I don't. Nope. There you go. There you go. And he even attacks the other environment cards. Very cool. Alright, they healed a little bit because of Luminous Leadership, and we have Return with the Dawn, which is going to bring another citizen back into play, as we know. Alright. Let us see who's coming into play again. Citizen Battery, and he is going to give someone a wall up. There we go. I was kind of hoping it was one of the lesser ones, but, you know, sometimes this is the way that it goes. Let's actually use Suture Self to heal up a little bit. Heals us for 3. And then we get 2 powers. I think using our 5 damage, we can hit Citizen Battery, bringing him to 2 health. And surely we'll be able to take him down before that. And then let's look at the next 2 cards. Oh my, this guy is terrible. Villain targets other than Citizen Truth, this guy, are immune to damage. Reduce damage dealt to Citizen Truth by 1. So every time you hurt him, he's going to be reducing damage to himself by 1. And you have to take this guy out before everyone else. So I think, as much as I hate Blinding Blast, I think I'm actually going to pick that one next. Because I hate Citizen Truth. He is a real pain in the patella. Alright, we got some cards, and it's time to move on. We do not want to destroy that bounty. Thank you, Jim's hat, but no thank you. Let's see. So, we could bring out that excellent bounty from the trash again, the kill on sight, to give us some more cards when Citizen Battery or Citizen Spring are defeated. We could do that. Or we could, well, I guess we could look in our inventory and get the other gear that we have, but we actually have most of it in play by now. The only other thing I can think of is like one of those time grenades, which we don't really care for. You know what? Fine. Yeah, let's do it. Alright, so we're going to bring Kill on Sight into play. We're going to attach it to Citizen Battery there. And with the 1 damage that we're going to deal here, I'm actually going to deal it to Citizen Spring to bring those 2 to a tie. Yes, I am. And I get to play another card. I'll do Terrible Tech Strike, which allows me to deal 1 target 2 melee damage, and then 1 target 1 projectile damage. But with our damage buff, that's really 3 and 2 if we assign it both to Citizen Dawn, which I will do. So 3 and 2. And then we get a power phase on top of all that, and we're going to use Compound Bow to deal another 4 damage to Citizen Dawn. There we go. Sudden Contract. Excellent. We'll be ready for next turn. Very good. Alright, and because we have our load on initialization, we can either draw a card or play a software. We don't want to play a software card right now because that'll bring us to 4 softwares with only 3 hardware. So let's draw a card. Another copy of the load on initialization. I suppose let's use the Micro Fabricator here. It's an equipment card, a hardware. At the end of your turn, you may play a hardware card or draw a card. Then you may discard a card. And if you discard a card, remember that that would go under the Inferno Missile Pod, for example, and then allow us to utilize that. Increasing damage dealt by benchmark by 1. Then we will draw a card. We get to deal a damage somewhere, which is 2 damage to one of these targets, and 3 if we dealt it elsewhere. Let's see. How about... let's actually hit the Rat Beast. I'm getting a little tired of his shenanigans. And we draw a card, and then at the end of the turn, we get to play a software card if we want. This is a pretty good one. Destroy an ongoing card, an environment card, or a target with 1 HP, and destroy this card. Let's put that in play. We do have a few different cards out here. Oh, and of course, because we played onboard cooling systems, once we play a software card, we get to deal 2 targets 2 cold, which is 3 damage thanks to our damage buff. So let's deal Rat Beast a damage. There we go. And we'll deal some damage to the Citizen Dawn, of course. Alright, no cards over there. And let's play a hardware card. Because why not? How's about... Let's put this one into play. There we go. And now we can discard a card if we want, which will put it under the Inferno Missile Pod. I think we will do that. Let's put one of these in here because we have 2 copies of it. Yep, we want to put it right under there so that we are able to utilize that ability going forward. And we get to put a card into play from the trash, a software card. Let's see. Well, we did just add a new hardware, so let's do this one. There we go. And I'll explain what that one does when we go back to it. That's a really good card. Almost, in my opinion, maybe even potentially too good. Alright, and let's go ahead and let the Abominable Snowman kill Citizen Battery for us and get us some cards. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh, got another bounty over there. Very good. Kill on sight was destroyed. Oh, a Chupacabra is back. The Rat Beast is hitting the Wraith. The horrid Skunk Ape is going to hit everyone. And you can actually technically pick which order it hits people. So let's go ahead and have him hit this Rat Beast, destroying the Rat Beast first. And the rest, it doesn't matter what order they're hit in necessarily. So, do I want to redirect the melee damage this way? Sure, why not? Because I know I have healing abilities, and I just got my hardware that shields me. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay, now she's mad. Alright. There we go. Okay, so, unfortunately, because of the environment actually took out Citizen Spring, meaning that there are now enough cards in here for her to have flipped to her backside, where she is merged with the power of the sun. It's not like she really does anything terrible. It's just that she's immune to damage, so she basically just puts a pause on the game.
Pain, panic. Got a little riddle for you. How do you kill a god?
I do not know. You can't. They're immortal?
Bingo! They're immortal. So, first you gotta turn the little sunspot mortal.
The way that you get her to flip back over to her other side is if there are 2 or more citizens in play. Thankfully, we know that 1 is going to go into play because of Return with the Dawn. And then we're going to hope that we can get another one pretty soon. Oh, and of course, we're all taking 2 damage. We have to discard 2 cards apiece. Okay, we already have one of these. And we already have one of these. Actually, we don't need 2 of those. Let's discard one of those. Alright, let's discard 1 copy of Hunter and Hunted. We can only have 1 in play at a time anyway. Then let's get rid of... Let's just get rid of no executions. Alright, and 2 cards here. Let's get rid of a deployment actuation because we're pretty well built. And let's throw it under... the good news is it does let us throw it under the missile pod. The bad news is that we won't be able to shoot her with the missile pod right now because she's immune to any sort of damage. We already have one of these in play, so let's... but that is really good. Let's actually get rid of that hardware card. Put it under there. Yep. Alright, and she plays the top card of the villain deck. It's actually another one, so she's going to pull 2 citizens from the trash. Excellent. So as long as we leave these 2 alive, then she'll have the 2 citizens in trash. In play that she needs to get out of her merged with the power of the sun form here. And of course we have to discard a card because of Citizen Tears. That darn Citizen Tears. I think we already have one of these. We'll keep the Stun Bolt just in case. Let's get rid of 1 copy of Displaced Armory. We need to get rid of one of these. I really like all 3 of these, but I guess we already have one of those out. So let's go ahead and throw that under the Missile Pod too. Why not? Alright. I'm going to use the grappling hook to destroy some... actually, I'm going to destroy 1 copy of Return with the Dawn. We really don't want her pulling that many citizens out of that trash. So there we go. Let us look at the next 2 cards in her deck. We have Channel the Eclipse. At the end of the villain turn, Citizen Dawn deals herself 2 cold damage. Awesome. Ongoing, right? But at the start of the villain turn, play the top card of the villain deck. So she would get 2 card plays a turn going forward. Not so good. And we have Citizen Winter. At the end of the villain turn, this card deals each hero target 2 cold damage. Neither of these are great. I'm actually going to pick this one, though, because I already know that I have the ability to destroy the ongoing card. So basically, she's going to hurt herself, and then I'm going to destroy it before she gets any benefit for having done so. And as for the Razor Ordnance, I'm going to go ahead and give a wallop to the Abominable Snowman here. Right now, the environment is becoming a bit more of a liability than I would like. So, no, I don't want to destroy that. Okay, so we get to play 2 cards. I'm going to start with this one, the Ultimate Target. As you can see, we have a little rat-looking character in here. I wonder what that's about. Indeed. Ongoing bounty, play this card next to a non-hero target. Increase damage dealt by Chrono Ranger to the target by 1. So if we stack this on top of the by any means bounty on Citizen Dawn, we're going to be really laying into her. And the first time that target deals damage each turn, you may use a power. So every time that Citizen Dawn deals damage to someone or something, I get to use a power for free, which means I could shoot her with my compound bow or something like that. Alright, and of course we do have yet another card play here. I think what I'll do is I'll use the Displaced Armory. I will search my deck. So I have 2 abilities left. The Masada here, which is a cool little technical gun. He deals 1 target X irreducible energy damage, where X is the number of bounty cards in play. Pretty cool. Unfortunately, since she's in her sun form, even though it says irreducible damage, she is immune to damage entirely. So that means she's immune to irreducible damage also, even though it seems strange. And we have a Temporal Grenade. Chrono Ranger deals up to 3 targets, 1 energy damage each. You may destroy an ongoing or environment card and then destroy this card. So let's put the Temporal Grenade in play. Let's go ahead and deal some damage to the Abominable Snowman. And I can utilize one of these powers, but none of the ones that I want to utilize for her hit her right now. So I'm going to use the Temporal Grenade. It gets to deal 3 targets, 1 damage apiece. There's Abominable Snowman. Goodbye. Then the Chupacabra. Goodbye. And then, what do we say? Citizen Tears. There we go. Alright, and I get to destroy a card. I could destroy one of the environment cards, but I think I'm going to destroy that other version of Return with the Dawn. We don't want her pulling any more of those guys out. We already have the 2 citizens we need in play. Oh, got another bounty card. Oh, that's a really good one, actually, especially against this villain. So play this card next to a non-hero target. The whole gang. You can see there's a team-up of various individuals here. Let's see. I think that's... Actually, you know, I'm not really sure I recognize all these people. In any case, when that target leaves play, you may destroy a target with 4 or fewer HP, then destroy this card. So against lower health point targets, like if I attach this to Citizen Battery right now, who has 7 health, once he died, he would instantly take Citizen Tears with him, or the Amphibious Chupacabra, who also has 4 health. Anything with 4 or fewer health. Pretty cool. Alright, let's go ahead and hit the Meanwhile. Do I want to draw a card or play a software card? I think I will draw a card. We don't have a whole lot of cards out right now. Let's play this other hardware here, which is the Reinforced Chassis. It's equipment hardware, reduces damage dealt to benchmark by 1. Very good. Excellent. Now we get to utilize powers. We have more powers to utilize now. We have this one up here, which allows you to destroy an ongoing card, environment card, or target with 1 HP, then destroy this. Or this card, select a target. The next damage dealt to that target is irreducible and increased by 2. My goodness. I suppose what I'll do is I'll actually use this. Let's get rid of the horrid Skunk Ape. There we go. Righto, and I get to use a second power, which I will utilize. Let's utilize it on... Let's just throw it on Citizen Dawn. So once she does become mortal again, so to speak, she's going to take quite a wallop on that first turn. Alright, and at the end of our turn, we actually have 4 cards under here now, thanks to the fact that she made us discard so many. So let's destroy all 4 of those. There we go. So that's 4. And we get to deal 1 target, 1 fire damage 4 times. We don't want to deal it to them. So let's go ahead and deal it to the Chupacabra.
For your consideration, the Jericho.
3, 2, 1. Boom. There we go. And we get to draw a card at the end of our turn because of the Micro Fabricator. And then I may, let's see, discard a card if I want to, which will put it under the Inferno thing here. Yeah, let's put Overhaul Loadout under our Inferno Missile Pod. There we go. And now I could put a software card from the trash into play. Let's put this one out just in case. And because that came into play, I could deal 2 targets 2 damage apiece, but I really don't want to hurt these people too hard because I want them to be around. Maybe I'll do 2 here. There we go. And then I'll do the other 2 to Citizen Dawn because she's going to take 0. Anyway, we don't want to deal it to Citizen Tears just in case the environment plays something that would have killed her. New Jersey Devil. Not sure the origin of the name on that. 4 health. At the end of the environment turn, this card deals the 2 non-environment targets with the lowest HP 2 fire damage. Good thing we didn't hit Citizen Tears or she would be dead right now. Meaning that at the start of the villain turn, there would only be Citizen Battery in play, meaning she would stay immortal. So, alright, he's going to deal 2 damage apiece over there. Okay, it is what it is. But, yes indeed, Citizen Dawn merged the sun as long as she could. She returns to normal form, again, because we have 2 citizens in play at the start of her turn. Whew. And then she's going to hurt herself. Oh, she's going to hurt somebody. He has his reinforced chassis now, meaning he reduces damage by 1, so it's not going to hurt him at all. Very good. And then 3 damage coming some way. I'll go ahead and have him hit our friend Benchmark, because Benchmark reduces it to 2. And we have to discard a card apiece. No fun. Let's discard the Trust Fund. Let's discard... I think I'm at too low health to really fathom using this right now, so let's get rid of that. And one of these, we already have multi-point HUD in place. Let's get rid of that and put it under the missile pod. Boom, look at that. So actually, funny enough, let me just explain what happened because it's pretty hilarious. So you remember at the end of her turn, she deals herself 2 cold damage. She's now vulnerable, so she did that to herself. But on top of that, she has the by any means bounty, which increased the damage by 1. And because of Benchmark's power that he used, that made damage irreducible and increased the next damage dealt to that target by 2. So that actually buffed the damage she dealt to herself from Channel the Eclipse. So what should have been 3 damage ended up being 5 damage to herself, which is amazing. And additionally, and this is just one of the examples where the game, if you're playing it in a physical format, is a little fiddly, but the app manages it all to you and makes some crazy, funny things happen. So now, because we have this target in play, the ultimate target, it's a bounty, I'm sorry, not a target. Look at this. The first time that target deals damage each turn, you may use a power. She dealt damage to herself, which was the first time she dealt damage that turn, which means that he gets to use a power. Isn't that amazing?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Alright, so of course, let's add insult to injury. Let's deal her 6 damage, because these both give me +1 damage to each instance of damage. So I'm going to deal 1 damage, then 1, which becomes 3 and 3, so that's 6 damage. Bam! And infernal damage, why not? Bam! There you go. Oh man, that was great. Okay, moving right along. Could use this to get rid of Channel the Eclipse. We're going to need to get rid of it anyway. Yeah. Alright, Channel the Eclipse. We don't want her getting any benefit from that. It did what we wanted it to do, which was freeze herself in the face. So that was great. Alright, and now, by the way, because of the fact that she's already done her flip, she only gets to do that once per game. So now we're free to kill as many citizens as we want without any trouble. So let's go ahead and thonk this guy, get him out of here. Go away. And let's look at the next 2 cards. We got another version of Luminous Leadership. At the start of the villain turn, each citizen regains 1 health. Pfft, easy. And we could destroy it by destroying an ongoing card. Very good. Alright, and she gets 1 card from this power and draws a card at the end of her turn. No, we don't want to destroy either of those. Those are exactly where we want them. Yes, indeed they are. Now, here's the thing. So here's something that's interesting. I suppose what I'll do is I'm going to do this, and I'm going to attach it here, because I have an idea. Alright, and then I get to play another card because of Jim's hat. I could use a sudden contract, or I could get stuff out of the trash. Let's get stuff out of the trash, because I know there's more in the trash right now than there are, and let's go ahead and shoot her for 3. There we go. Righto. Then, let's use our compounded bow. Shoot her for another 6. Boom. And psychic damage, why not? There we go. Draw a card. Very good. Okay. Alright, so now we are going to... Let's draw a card. There we go. Any of this software. This software is pretty good. Discard a card. It's a power that you get to utilize. If you do, one other player may draw a card and use a power. Which is pretty cool. We have the power that I need up there already. But playing software is going to trigger the onboard cooling system. So we do like that. Let's play this one, which we don't have in play yet. It's a very good one. Alright, boom. We're going to do 3 damage right there. We're going to do 2 damage right here. There we are. And then, with our 2 powers, we're going to utilize this one first. So now, I'm going to actually destroy this environment card. There we go. Which is going to trigger this bounty to allow me to destroy another target with 4 or fewer HP. So even if she was at full HP, I would be able to just deal it straight to her and instantly kill her because she was at 4 health. So let's go ahead and do that, and that takes care of citizen tiers as well. Excellent. And then I have a number of things I could do here. Let's use this power to make the next damage dealt to Citizen Dawn irreducible and increased by 2. Oh, we already know what she's going to play next. She's just going to play another copy of Luminous Leadership. Oh, that's right. We get to use our missiles. There we go. So 4 damage and then 2 damage. She's getting 6 damage from us here. And just to really appreciate that, remember that normally what this does is 1 target, 1 fire damage a certain number of times. So to really appreciate that, with only 2 activations of that, we got 6 damage out of it. Just to show you, like, how, even though this card looks like it only does 1 target, 1 fire damage, that's pretty lame. It actually is really good later once he's fully constructed. Let's draw a card. And I can discard a card, which will put another card under our system there. Yep, let's put it under the missiles. And we could put a card into play, a software card. Do we want to... Let's put that out just in case. Okay. Now we know what she's going to get. Alright, we got another rat beast over here, and I think he's going to attack. Let's have him attack Benchmark, because Benchmark gets the damage reduction. There we are. Alright. Citizen Dawn regains health. We know her next card is Luminous Leadership, which means at the start of her next turn she's going to get cards. She's damaging me, but remember, that allows me to use a power. So let's go ahead and load the bow, which is going to deal 3 damage, that's 6 damage, bringing this battle to a close. And there you have it, my friends. That was Citizen Dawn, and I think we did pretty good. That I was starting to worry a little bit with that first turn, having taken so many cards from us, but we were okay. We made it through. Thank you all so much for watching yet another episode of Simpleton Supers. We will be back pretty soon with our next episode. I think I might take on Omnitron, who's a big robotic factory that is set to want to destroy mankind for its self-destructiveness. One thing I think I'm going to start doing at the end of these episodes is sort of giving my general thoughts and review of the actual boss encounter itself and what I think about it. I guess just dipping back to Baron Blade for a moment, I think he's simple enough. He's a perfect tutorial boss where the idea is just you're fighting him on a timer and then you just fight him a little bit more. He's okay. I think that his alternative version is a bit more engaging, and fan-made versions that have converted his deck to do different things are even more engaging than that. I'll say for Citizen Dawn, I really like the idea of the character. I think the character is incredibly interesting, and her story is really good. If you listen to the Letters Page episode, I think that was actually the first episode I listened to where I really connected and really saw the full grand image of the story, right? Like, there was a bit of substance to it outside of just basic details, and I guess it just really connected with me in a way where, listening to it, there was a bit of nuance and depth to the character I was not expecting. I was genuinely surprised by it. As far as her deck in the game, I think the citizens are all great. I like how they help each other out when they come out in their pairs, or triplets, or even in the case of the citizen seasons. I think we saw autumn for a moment, and then spring was out for the most part. It's really cool how they have cohesion between each other. But, like, in this battle that we just did, there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity where they naturally came out together. And I think a big part of that is, honestly, because I was playing the Wraith. Most people don't have deck control or manipulation like the Wraith does. I mean, yeah, there's a few characters who do, but it's pretty rare, frankly. So usually you just have to deal with what comes out of that deck, and that's about it. But as far as Citizen Dawn herself as the boss, I mean, when she's on her front side, all she does is just 1 damage around. That's not very exciting. I mean, yeah, she has cards that activate other damages, make you discard cards, and she has, I called it a Screw You card. She does have Screw You cards. We didn't end up seeing them this time around. But essentially, she has one card called Devastating Aurora, which is basically just a board wipe. It gets rid of all equipment, all ongoings, and all environment cards. It just resets the entire game. I think she has 2 copies of it as well. When that comes out at the wrong time, it's really painful and frustrating, which is why I thought it was okay to bring Wraith here, so that she could try to mitigate that as much as possible with that infrared eyepiece. But 1 damage around, and then she flips, and then she's invincible for a while. And then once you get through that, you could kill her citizens without any sort of... there's no inhibition to killing citizens after that, because she only can flip once a game. So once she's done and you've unflipped her again and she's unmerged from the sun, then that's it, you know? And from then on, it's just you beat up her citizens as they come out, and then you just wail on her and she dies pretty helplessly. I mean, since she only deals 1 damage, you know, I mean, I had 2 characters on here who have attacks that reduce her damage output, so they could even negate her ability to deal damage entirely. And for someone who, at least in the story of things, is supposed to be like this potent force, very feared, it's a bit bizarre how little she does on her own. That's why I want to give a shout out to the various community content versions of this character. The first one I played was the one created by Board Game Geek user Adelphophage. He did new versions of basically every boss in the game. And his version of the character was much more challenging, and I thought made a better representation of what the character was in regards to the Sentinels storyline. I mean, you do have to cut the creators a bit of slack. This was like their first outing of creating this character within the system, whereas us now, looking back at it, you know, the game's been around for 10 years, so we have learned a lot more, and we're a little more familiar with things and how to make it work in the system than the original creators were way back then. So we'll cut them a little bit of slack, of course. So I know with the definitive edition coming out, I'm really hoping that they crank up Citizen Dawn's ability to deal damage and engage with the heroes, and maybe dial back the annoying factor of Devastating Aurora. So if they crank those dials exactly right, I think that you're going to have a really memorable and enjoyable encounter with this character who drives a lot of the plot points that I really enjoy. But anyway, those are my thoughts for Citizen Dawn. I have some thoughts going forward for all the other villains generally, whether it comes from design or from story, and I'll share a little bit of each. But that's what I have. But we will look forward to that on the next go around, and I'll update the character sheet in between. So thank y'all so much, and we will look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Simpleton Supers or Simpleton Solos.